Hi, Tanja here and welcome to TMJTV, a weekly video series aimed at real estate leaders that would love more time to grow their people and their business. I hope you enjoy this next episode of TMJTV. Hi, Tanja here and welcome to TMJTV, a weekly video series dedicated to real estate leaders and teams that want to grow themselves and their business in the least amount of time. And sitting next to me is my friend and the Queen of Data, Kylie Davis from CoreLogic. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
As I said before, I think when we've chatted at ARIC, I always feel like I need a drum roll or a round of applause, especially because you have deep dived into the real estate of leadership over the past 12 months.
Yes,
and
covered myself in it. Yeah.
And you're looking pretty good as a result. So we're here really to have a conversation or a series of conversations to unpack what are the insights, what's the data telling us, what are the impacts if we don't change anything, and what are some simple actions that leaders and teams can take really simply from today to bridge some of the gaps. So first of all, thank you for your partnership in this project.
No, my pleasure. It's been great fun.
It's awesome. So we've got some key insights that we think are some of the fundamental pieces of information that we really want to share. Let's start with the first one.
So our first insight is that 29%, so around about a third of the industry, are spending up to 50% of their time looking after the people, the processes, the performance of people in their business, which is quite a lot of the industry spending a lot of time in that space.
Yeah, so if you're a leader, often you're spending up to half of your time navigating the people, performance and productivity issues. And as we were talking before we started shooting, fine if you're just leading the business, but if you are a listing selling principal, that could have a big impact on your sanity, your prospecting and your leadership.
Yeah, and I think it's all about, is that what you want to be doing? So if you're a full-time principal leading your team, then a third of the industry is probably the right number of people who are spending most of their time doing that. They've got processes in place. But if you're a selling principal, and 50% of your time is being taken up with things that are not about you achieving your KPIs, then that can be a bit of a recipe for an awful lot of frustration.
Yes, and in addition to that, if that is you, then it's very likely that your team aren't getting
They're probably frustrated too.
Well, they're frustrated too. So everyone's kind of working in silos under the same building, yet often really time poor. And you know, Kylie, I know from being out there on the field, as are you, when you're out there speaking, many principals are really in that dance of being in the business and on the business and finding it really hard because they're working with the best intentions. They want to be available for their people, but they're also the main, not only are they listing selling principal, but they're the main breadwinner for the business. So they've got all the accountability, all the responsibility, providing leadership and managing, because they're different, and then bringing in the majority of the business. That's pretty stressful.
I think it is, and I think what it's telling you is that you actually don't have the processes in place in your business yet to actually have it be a little bit more automated or to be running itself. So, you know, it's what Tom Panos calls, it's about being you're running an energy business as opposed to a process-driven business. And so we all know that the outcomes of that can be burnout, and just feeling exhausted and feeling constantly behind your goals. So it's really about sort of taking a look at, how is my business structured? Is it structured the way that's going to help me achieve what I want to achieve? Is it helping my people achieve what they want to achieve? Are we all kind of pulling in that one direction?
And I know principals that are listing selling principals that also have a team, whatever the size of the team is, some of the actions that are proving to be beneficial is to have like a general manager in the business. If you as a principal don't have time to really sit down and hold your individual agents accountable and be available for your property management team and your admin team, then part of that strategy is let's bring in a general manager.
Love that person
and pay that person
they have
well.
Skills. Well, no, but seriously, because they have skill. I think when you set up a business as a listing selling principal, you do that because you want to be your own boss. And so a lot of people worry about bringing in a general manager because then maybe they're putting someone to be the boss of them back in. But if you're the selling principal who has set up the systems the way you want them to run, or worked with someone who can do that heavy lifting for you, but helped interpret what you want for your business and turn them into like goals in a system, then you can actually just get out there and do what you're fantastic at, and know that that person whose skills are in a different area to yours is running it like a
well-oiled machine.
Like a well-oiled machine.
So when you have a general manager in the business that can really manage the micro stuff and the day-to-day, then as the major breadwinner and the principal, you can really be of service to your people by providing that training and support to get them to the skill level that you're at to increase your revenue for the business.
Yeah, and we know too that from further statistics that we'll unpack later, that most of the staff and followers as part of real estate are crying out for more one-on-one attention.
They are, because they're getting a lot of attention in a 1 hour sales meeting, which we'll talk about as a collective. But yeah, there's a huge opportunity we're missing a big opportunity for one-on-one.
Yeah, it's huge.
Nurturing and nourishment. So what are the impacts from what you see and what the data is telling us, Kylie? If 30% of the industry is spending half of their time really navigating all the components of the business, what's the impacts if we don't have strategies in place to rectify that?
Well, I think a couple of things. It becomes a lot more about if you're a poorly led business, then people are going to be leaving you. You'll have staff turnover.
Yep.
Staff turnover and inconsistency in your business means, paucity of service, which means that you'll find it harder to be making money and decent money out of it. So your business won't be as successful.
Big impact.
Pretty big impact. Yeah.
And the time, like obviously you're going home at the end of the day exhausted, trying to do everything for everyone, and your family. There's also personal impact. So there's the business impact, and then there's the lifestyle, health. Yes. Impacts.
Yep, all of that stuff.
All of that sort of stuff. So it's really critical. So from an action perspective, I think it's really worthwhile if we look at if there's two different games here.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? Like if you're a principal that's just directing the business and you're not listing and selling, what would you recommend?
I recommend that you are looking at the processes in your business to see whether they're doing the heavy lifting and that you're just really orchestrating, you're really just sort of, waving the baton to make sure everyone's singing at the right time. Because your processes should be in place to be helping people, know when they're supposed to connect with you, that you're alerted to issues before they become problems, that you've got all that kind of key structure in place.
And it's consistent. It's not when you feel like it. It's not when disaster strikes. It's you've got daily rituals, weekly actions, monthly masks, quarterly reviews and yearly analysis that you do on a regular basis that your team know about. So it's not just trying to rob Peter to pay Paul as far as time.
Yeah.
And then over here with the listing selling principle.
Yep.
We talked about a strategy.
Around that is to look at where you're spending your time and are you happy about that? Or are you not? Look at why you might be spending your time with those issues. And I think especially in that space, you probably tend to blame one or two individuals for being really needy, but that is possibly because you haven't got the structure in place to help them feel supported. So then I think you need to have a really honest conversation with yourself do you want to be running the business or do you want to be the principal who owns a really successful business?
Exactly.
And if the answer is number two, and you're not happy with how your week or your month or your quarters are playing out, then bring someone into the business who can do that, running the day-to-day stuff so that they can let you shine at what you're really strong at.
Yes, 100%. And then when you've done that, you can dedicate your time and energy to upskilling your people. To be able to operate at the level that...
then you can be the master who kind of shares the, shares the love and the expertise and the skills to nurture and grow other people in your...
Which is why many people join a business or join a leader.
Yeah, because
they're doing a good job and they want to learn from them.
Absolutely.
Got it. Okay, great. So that's a really great insight. And if you are a leader that's watching this and you're like, yeah, that's me. I am either... I'm a listing selling principal and I'm spending up to 50% of my time in that dance of in the business, on the business, or even more. And I could really use some simple strategies to allocate my time and then get the best out of my people. Then we have an event coming up on the 6th and 7th of February 2018, which is called Inspiring Greatness. 2-day deep dive into your business where you'll get some fundamental, simple strategies to be more effective with your time and your people. So we'd love you to come along and join us for that. And all the details are in the website link provided below. Kylie, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director. every single week I'm going to share insights and free downloadable tools to help you and your people achieve your success in the least amount of time. If you'd like access to the free downloadable tool, just click on the available link. If you also have any questions or challenges, specifically in the area of leadership or mindset, just write it in the comments below, and where possible, I'll provide solutions to your requests. Remember, let love lead, and you can turn your workforce into the life source of your business. I'll see you next week for more TMJTV.